Hi everybody! In today's video we are going to be looking at 1940s fashion. I will be giving you a very brief overview of the history of 1940s fashion. I'll also be sharing with you a selection of patterns. Now these are reprints from the big commercial pattern companies, and I chose those specifically so that you'd still be able to purchase them online. In addition to these patterns, I'll be sharing some fabrics that I think would work really well for them and that are historically accurate. So we're going to be sticking with natural fibers. So fashion responds to the world around us. It is influenced by politics, the economy, other world events, and even architecture, just to name a few. Now, the 1940s is actually a prime example of how fashion responds to the ever-changing world. World War II lasted from 1939 till 1945, and it heavily impacted fashion. In fact, fashion had no choice but to respond due to the rationing of supplies like fabric, buttons, and zippers. So you will see the fashion for women also had to change to accommodate the women's role in the world. Women were going to work in factories, they were going into the service, and so the designs and the styles reflected those changes.
So women's clothing in the 1940s was about utility and showing strength. The silhouette for most of this decade included square shoulders with a narrow waist and narrow hips. So pleating and ruffles were not used very often as design features in order to save on fabric. But gathering and ruching were used quite a bit, especially at the shoulder seams. So you can see on the dresses on the right, they've got that gathering at the shoulders. And then on the left, you'll see that shirt dresses were really common. Women began working in factories and taking service jobs because the men were off fighting war, so someone needed to be at home doing the work. For this reason, women started wearing uniforms, overalls, and pants. In fact, it was during the 1940s that women's pants became popular. So you can see here we have women in pants and overalls. And these are some really classy pants with the high waist. Blouses and skirts were also popular, with padded shoulders in blouses and jackets to give the desired square shape. Skirts were typically narrower, they weren't as full, and they were usually in A-line. They would hit just below the knee. Women were also urged to mend old clothes rather than buy new ones. They often took in men's suits to wear for themselves. These suits were often called victory suits. You can see here we have these lovely bunch of women walking down the street in their gorgeous victory suits. Very proud. I love this picture. So the fabrics that were mainly used were cotton, rayon, and wool. The silk supply from Japan had been cut off due to the war, and the silk that was still available was used for supplies for the war. Now, nylon had become available, but nylon was off limits because it was also needed to make supplies for the war, like parachutes. The most popular colors were, of course, red, white, and blue, green, and yellow. The use of prints also added some interest to the garments. Floral prints, especially the small floral prints, like sort of ditzy, were popular. And so were gingham, polka dots, and vertical stripes. And plaid was also popular in the colder months. And then towards the later part of the 40s, after the war ended, people were starting to use more fabric. And we were also able to be inspired by the fashion in France because France was no longer occupied. So in 1947, Christian Dior introduced the new look. This look had round shoulders, a defined waist, and full skirts that hit just below the calves. So this sort of started propelled us into the 1950s when we started to see more of this hourglass silhouette. So let's start with Butterick 6282, and this is a dress, and I'll be showing you more dresses later, but I wanted to start with this one because I think it really embodies the idea of a utility style. Just take a look at the details of the dress. You have the pockets, it's button front, basically a shirt dress with the gathering at the shoulders, which is really common in the 40s. Rolled sleeves on this one. The dress is just below the knee. Let's take a look at some of the pictures. And the line art here. There's a belt, and belts were really common, and that helped kind of show off a narrower waist. And super cute dress, but I wanted to start with this one. I just thought it really exemplified the era. And for this pattern, I chose a linen. Now, the pattern itself does recommend linen, and linen, of course, is a cooler fabric. It's great for warmer weather, and especially if she's wearing this dress to work in a factory or other, place where it might be a little bit warm, this would be perfect combination. And I love this indigo color. The blue definitely falls into the patriotic color scheme. 100% linen, true to the era. I think it looked really well, especially for View B, the short sleeve version. Check out her cute little red, white, and blue belt. Okay, let's move along. I had to throw in a Rosie the Riveter type garment, especially the overalls, since women were really wearing them, especially if they were in the factories. Now this pattern packet does include pants, but I put it in here for the overalls. Super cute. This is the back. The front has a couple of pockets for tools. It even includes some blouses, and there's a blouse with a hood. I don't know, only has 3 stars. Anyway, there she is, Rosie. For this one, of course, a denim. I picked this one from Kaufman, an 8-ounce indigo, 100% cotton, medium to heavy weight, so it's perfect for overalls, but it's not too heavy. Next, I picked this pant pattern from Simplicity 8243. I really like the pants in the 40s. They're high-waisted, which personally for me works for my body shape, which is a pear. Oh, she has what looks to be a polyester blouse on, but we will overlook that because polyester was not used in the 40s. Let's look at the line art. Love these blouses. I like the sleeves. I just like the little bit of volume and gathering. These pants are awesome, and I intend to make them for myself, just day-to-day wear. In fact, this style of pant is, I believe, back in fashion. Fashion recycles itself. Okay, so I really like the plaid look. So I also chose a plaid, and I went with this one from Vogue Fabrics. It's a rich brown and steel blue woolen fabric. It's 100% wool. I'm hoping that it's not, itchy, because wool can be itchy, so you'd have to line your pants if that were the case. But I think the blue with this sort of yellow-toned brown is kind of pretty. I just think it looked really good with this pant. Next, we have a couple of blouse patterns, and this one is from Simplicity 1692. In particular, I really love this one, which is View B with the floral and the gathers on the sleeves, it looks like, and then some ties. Let's take a look at the line art here. Oh, this one is on Etsy, sorry. So it's not available on the Simplicity website, but it's readily available on like Etsy and eBay. So I really like View B and View A. They are just super cute little blouses, and they'd be perfect for the modern day wear as well. So I was quite inspired by this floral print, and I found this beautiful red floral, red and vanilla rayon challis at Style Maker Fabrics, and I think it's perfect for this blouse. It's really quite spot on, and rayon, common fabric back in the 40s, just absolutely perfect. Next, we have another blouse pattern set from Simplicity 8736, and there's a bunch of different blouses here. The line art shows you we've got some long sleeves, cute little collar with a tie, another collar, long sleeves. Just these blouses are just incredibly cute. And they're going to pair well with the skirt and the skirts and then the pants. I do have a skirt pattern coming up. So for this one, not to be boring, but I did pick just a plain white cotton lawn. White, they seem to have worn a lot of white blouses with their pants or their skirts, and I just think white blouses in general are pretty chic and very versatile. Remember, they're not buying a lot of clothes, so they're going to have things that they could wear, many different looks, right? So the cotton lawn is soft and it's light, it's perfect. Also, I threw in this Swiss dot. Swiss dot was also a popular fabric in the 40s, and it just added a little bit of detail and texture, and I've always been a fan of Swiss dot. I think it's super cute, and I think it would work really well with these blouses. And you could do this, you could use these fabrics too. You could kind of interchange them, the rayon and the cottons, with either, but I think the rayons are going to work better for this. And so the cotton lawn and the Swiss dot would work really well. Okay. I also added some batiste. So if you didn't want something white and you wanted some other colors, then this rayon batiste from Hearts would work well. You've got several different choices here, and batiste can be a bit it can be sheer, so just be careful of that, but it was common in the 40s. Okay, next I'm going to be showing you, I have 3 different victory suits, as they were called, and this one is from Simplicity 8461. Let's take a look at the line art on this. This one comes with a dickie, and I kind of forgot about dickies. They're like a faux shirt piece, if you will. See, there's no sleeves on this. You just wear it under your jacket to make it look like you're wearing a blouse. And it's a fabric saver, which is ideal for the era. I love the skirt. And so you can make this skirt and wear it with one of the blouses if you didn't want to wear it with a jacket. And I like how the jacket comes in, and it's a little bit shorter. Let's take a look at some of the pictures. There she is, super cute. I really love it in red. I think it is dynamite in red. Super, super cute. The dickie. The next one I have here is also from Simplicity. I think Simplicity just kind of swept the 1940s here with their reprints. So this is 8242, and this is slightly different. It's got some cuffs. It's got kind of a peplum effect. Let's take a look at the line art. Peplum effect, it kind of points out. It's double-breasted with the buttons. Here's the skirt. Skirt's slightly more fuller than the other pattern, but it's still, they're all at the length of just above the knee, or just below the knee, I'm sorry. This is super cute. I really like this one as well. And there's the original. And then I have this one from Vogue, and this one is later in the 40s. And so you can see that the jacket length is longer. It's ending at about hip level. And there's some volume here in the back. There's that volume. It's kind of sticking out. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but if you have a lightweight fabric, it shouldn't stick out like that Might be just the fabric that's doing that. There's a line art there, and come on, computer. So it's a very elegant suit. And I have some options, and they're all wool. And I chose this one, this wool gabardine, 100% wool from Vogue. It's calling it salmon, but on my end it looks like a cherry red. But I recommend, I'm just inspired by that Simplicity suit in red. It's beautiful. And then I have this. What happened here? And then I have this one, it's called olive drab wool. So it's got the little checks, which were popular in the 40s. And I think this colorway was also popular, sort of olives and browns. And I have this one. This one's called menswear suiting, so it's mostly used for menswear. But remember, the women were taking men's suits and tailoring them and making them fit themselves because they wanted to recycle clothes to save on fabric. So I guess this works. But this dark gray is perfect for any of those suits. And then any of these three wools that I showed you would work well for this as well. So we have this Simplicity 8462 blouse, skirt, and line bolero. This is one of my favorite 40s patterns out. I think that the top is super cute. I love the skirt. It's a little bit fuller than we've been seeing. And then the bolero, I mean, how cute is that? I've been meaning to make this for quite some time now. I'm hoping to get to it this year. We shall see. But it's just so adorable. And I did pick specifically for this pattern this espresso colored wool crepe suiting. I think it would just be stunning in this fabric. Now, any of these other wool suitings would work, but for me personally, this is what I would make. And then the blouse would probably be white, maybe? Or maybe ivory. This is so cute. Can't get over it. Okay. Moving on. We're going to be moving on to the dresses. I have quite a few dresses I want to show you. This one is Vogue 8728. It's from 1946. And this one really illustrates how they like to use gathers for details. And I think this is a really pretty dress. And let's look at the line art. It's actually quite simple if you look at it. And chic, and it's got the belt. It's just really, really nice. Out of print, but you can find it online as you can with most of these patterns on Etsy. So this one, I didn't want to use a print. I thought that I wanted to show off the details here, and if you added a print, it might get lost. So I just chose this navy blue rayon challis. I think a solid is going to work best for this, and I think navy is just a really chic color, and it also falls into our patriotic theme. Okay, next is this one from Butterick, and it is 6485, and it's got some nice details that were really prominent in the 40s. So you take a look at these shoulder details, the gathers here, some, I think, like darts or pleats. Let me see. What are they calling it? Front tucks. Yes, tucks. Really, really nice. And very much 40s. So for this one, I chose a Pima cotton broadcloth. Now the pattern itself does recommend broadcloth. Broadcloth was commonly used in the 40s, cotton broadcloth. And aqua was a popular color, so I chose this aqua, but there are plenty of other colors if that doesn't suit you. Next, we have this peplum dress, Simplicity 8463. Peplums were popular, obviously. This is super cute. It's a two-piece dress. So you have the top. Let's go back to line art. So you have the top, and then you have the nice A-line skirt, and of course a belt. You have to have the belt or a tie. This is great for modern day. Like, you can just sew this up and wear it with pants. Just in a little jacket. That'd be great for work, right? What a lady. I love this. So for this one, I really like this rayon. Well, it's viscose, but pretty much the same thing. Carolina green floral satin faced viscose dobby. It is really, really beautiful, and I think it would work nicely with the peplum and the skirt. You can even do like the top, the print, and then have something like a solid on the bottom, but it's supposed to be a two-piece dress, so in theory it should be the same, but you could play around. Okay, moving on, we have this shirt dress from Simplicity 8050. You saw in the intro, these shirt dresses were quite common and popular, so I had to throw it in. Look at the detail right there, the buttons, the collar. For this, I decided that a small check would be good. Now there's a variety offered here, here on fabric.com. A solid would work too, but because it's already showing you a solid on the packet, I thought a check pattern might be really cute. Or gingham maybe. I like these colors for some reason. Stepping outside my own box here. This isn't something I normally pick, but I think it would work well. Okay, so I have a few more dresses to show you, and then I'm going to show you some fabric that would work for any of these dresses. I really love this one from McCall's 7433, the inverted notch collar shirt dress with the belt. I am a sucker for gathers at the shoulder, especially like right here. I love shirt dresses too. I love how they're using a contrasting fabric down here and on the cuffs and on the collar. This is a really classy dress. And then there's this other version that doesn't have the contrast, but it has long sleeves. Look at the line art there. What an interesting collar or neckline. See, here's V-neck. Super common in the 40s. You've got some pleats. Pleats weren't as common as I mentioned in the intro, but doesn't mean they didn't happen, and is 1943. And the rationing of the fabric was a lot stricter in Britain than it was in the US, by the way. But both of these, A and B, beautiful. And then we've got one from Simplicity 1587, this pretty dress. Let's look at the line art. Kind of almost like a sailor-ish color, but it's got a bow. Then it's got a yoke here at the skirt with some gathers. You've got gathers at the sleeves, gathers at the the collar, and then at the waist, and then at the back. Fuller skirt. And let's see. Okay. This one is also out of print. That's why it's on Etsy. So you'll be able to find it. Don't worry. And next, this one is not labeled a 1940s pattern, but I've made this dress before, and if you look, you can see it's definitely got the elements of the 40s. Looking at the line art, you've got the V-neck, you've got the gathers on the shoulders, on the sleeves, in this dart. These two, especially B and C, these are spot on for the 40s. So I threw it in here. And where am I? Don't want to lose my place. Is that it? Okay. So the next screens, I'm going to show you some recommendations for fabrics that I really like for any of those dresses I just showed you. In fact, you can use them for the blouses too. I just think that these particular fabrics will look great for these dresses. I really like this one from Butterick. It's a ditzy navy and red floral rayon challis made in Italy. So it's a little bit pricey at $22.99 a yard, but I just think it is perfect for the era. And then next we have this floral as well from Liberty. And Liberty Tana Lawn, any of these are going to be absolutely spot on for these blouses or dresses, because Liberty's known for their sort of ditzy flower prints, and they just have this vintage quality to them, and they're 100% cotton, and they're super, super soft, so it's hitting all the points you need to be historically accurate. This one's super cute. I really like this one. And there's just a variety here, so you'd be a-okay with these. And then I wanted to throw in a yellow. I love this one. Just make it so. I've never seen this fabric boutique, but in my search I came across and I thought it would be right on for the era. The peplum dress I think would look good in this as well. It's cotton and rayon blend. Now, I'm not quite sure how they were on their mixing cotton and rayon, but hey, cotton was okay, rayon was okay, so in my book this is okay. And then I found this one from Style Maker. It's a vintage ditzy floral rayon challis in rose. These colors, just like the name of the fabric, it just looks vintage to me and would work incredibly well. Okay, moving on. I wanted to give you guys a gown, something more, glamorous. And this is from 1944. It's Vogue 2858. So we've got this sort of dropped waist, pointed waist, and some gathers. Now this right here is reminding me of the 80s. So it looks like the 80s was taking some notes. And we've got this shoulder, almost bolero-like top shoulder areas. Look, but it's part of the dress. This is just too 80s for me. It just... So I think it's a really great how that illustrates how a fashion repeats itself and we just keep borrowing from years past. But I still think this is chic. And I wanted to give you something that was shiny and more glamorous. And so I found this Rag & Bone black rayon crepe back satin. So it's got a little bit of sheen. It's 100% rayon, so it is still true to the era. Now, normally, if I was making this dress, I'd probably just get like a poly crepe back satin and call it a day. But we can't use poly. So this is a rayon, and it's going to work really well for this dress. And black is always chic. Don't you think? Okay. And last, we have a coat. And this is a recent release from Vogue. It's 1669. It is a beautiful 40s coat. It's got a collar that can be flicked up or down. It's a nice seam line here, nice pockets. Look at the back. It's got this kind of inverted pleat. Some darts. I think it is absolutely stunning in red. I like this green, and I kind of found a green that looks like on the package, and this is a botanical green wool coating from Denver Fabrics, 100% wool. And this is very much, that green color from the World War II era, and if you find that to be a bit depressing, then you could opt for an aqua, mint. So mint and aqua were colors that were popular and it work really well. Or there's other colors like navy and red, and black, of course, or brown. So that work really well. So yeah, that is all that I have. And I hope you enjoyed my picks. I hope you enjoyed the patterns and the fabrics I selected. And if you have any questions for me, please leave them below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video and if you'd like me to do another decade. It was a lot of fun and I'd be happy to do so. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider so you can see more of these types of videos from me in the future. And thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. Bye!